But hey, I don't know. How about this little tidbit? Vice News is gone.
Does it make you nostalgic, Tim?
It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Vice News tonight formally shut down. And I just think it's funny that you've got these Vice News staffers that are like, to the original crew that helped launch Vice News, we changed the game, blah, blah. I'm like, that's me.
You're like,
you're talking about me, right? Because like you guys don't like me. But I was thinking of like retweeting them and being like, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. So for those that don't know, I was the first person hired at Vice to start Vice News. There was no Vice News. They hired me. And then like 6 months later, they were like, should we create a news division and like a brand for this? And then they did. And I was, so they had news in the sense that Vice would make documentaries and then they would say like, it's a news thing. And then eventually decided to launch a specific brand called Vice News. I was the first person. And so I brought new methodologies, new technologies and reporting styles. They then hired a bunch of people. I left after about a year and a few months. And then they went woke. Real quick. It was really creepy. Over like a year after I left, the company just went woke. And it was so weird because when I was there, it was like sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Tumblr was still around. As soon as they got sex off of Tumblr, all the woke stuff got spilled out into the rest of the internet.
Did you feel it like coming when you were there at all, or it was just like
absolutely not? And I mean, there was corporatizing. You could feel that. But apparently, what happened was a friend of mine who was a higher up said that they had faced too many sexual harassment lawsuits. And so the investors came to them and said, the only way out of this is to embrace feminism. And they said, you got it. And that was their defense against being sued for sexual harassment and stuff.
Wow. So does this mean Vice, and I don't fully understand this, Vice is just gone, or is Vice still a thing?
Vice is a thing.
Vice News.
Vice News tonight is being canceled and they're laying a bunch of people off. So they'll still have something called Vice News, but the main show that was on TV for the past decade is gone.
So is this the first TV show gone and as the internet is taking over? Is that what this is?
No, it's just get woke, go broke. Oh, okay. They burn themselves to the ground. The first show they had was called Vice, and it was amazing. The first show, just Vice, was so good. Man, Vice back in the day, for people who know it, it was basically four dudes. It was Sarouche, it was Shane, it was who was the other guy? Was it? No, Gavin was gone at this point. They had four hosts of their show, and I can't remember their names. And then the show was basically like weird travel stuff. It was traveling on the world to crazy places and exploring. And then I guess what happened was HBO wanted to cancel it. And so they announced abruptly before HBO re-upped it that they were already being renewed for a new season, which forced HBO's hand. But then HBO came back. I don't know if this is true. This is what I heard when I worked there. HBO came back and said, how dare you? And they were like, too bad, you're locked in now. It's been announced to the press and everyone's expecting it. And so then HBO was like, if we're going to do it, then changes have to be made. And here's the best part. I was told that I couldn't host for them because I was a white dude.
That doesn't seem racist at all. Oh my goodness.
But I was like, but I'm actually mixed race. And they're like, yeah, but you know, like, you're a guy who looks too white. And so they were like, you can notice this too when you look at the Vice on HBO staff. They bring in like an Indian guy, some women. They brought in a bunch of women. And so when I had joined them, I said, I want to be an on-air host and I will bring my brand and the work that I do. And they agreed. And then sure enough, I asked them and they were like, two things. One, fair point. I did not have hosting experience for documentary. So I was doing like basically what I'm doing now. And they wanted more pizzazz. Totally fair. So they had me host some stuff. But then when it came to HBO, they said, you're a white dude, have a nice day, get lost. They didn't say it like that. They're just like, look, we've got a mandate. They want, people of color and women.
But they just straight up said it.
Oh yeah, hands down. I mean, I was told the same thing by Fusion when I worked there, the ABC News company. When they did, they had the Black and Brown Forum. And they brought in, they had like three of their senior talent, staff talent, and then one external guy. And this was like Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders were being questioned by a panel of journalists. And so they just said nothing to me. And so I go to the president and I was like, is there a reason you guys had the other main talent and not me, your like senior reporter? And the guy goes, oh, it's because it's racist, because you're white. Literally told me that. And then I was like, but I'm mixed. And he's like, yeah, but come on, man.